So let me ask you a question. How do you think you make buying decisions? When there's something you want, how do you think you decide whether or not you're going to buy it? Go ahead, shout it out. How do you decide? Now, all those are true, but it comes down to just one thing that rules all of your buying decisions. And this one thing is so lodged in your brain that it owns you and you don't even know it. And it's just one word. You are owned by one word. What is it? Affordability. Look at that. Look at the power that word has over you. Think of all the decisions you make in your life based on that one word. Not do I want it, not is it good for me, not what will it bring to my life, can I afford it? Can I afford it is a prison cell that's built on your fears about money. So what am I saying? Am I saying go out and buy a Lambo to prove you're not afraid? No. I'm saying there's a whole other way of living out there, and that's where I live. It's where people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk and Steve Jobs lived. It's where affordability does not stop you from living your dreams because you don't live in affordability. You live in a very different space. You want to know what that is? You want to know what that word is? Well, unfortunately, you're not ready for it yet, but I'm going to help you get there. But when I tell you, it's going to be the biggest surprise of your life. First, I'm going to ask you something. When you get on an airplane, what are the seats called that you walk past? What are these seats called? First class, that's right. And after you pass the first class seats, what are these seats called? What are they called? That's right, economy. Now, where would you rather sit? Economy or first class? Yeah, me too. I mean, look who's happier. Now, on an airplane, what section has the most seats? Like, where are there more seats? First class or economy? Right, economy. That's right. But why are there more seats in economy than in first class? Because most people can what economy seats? Afford. That's right. Most people can afford economy and fewer people can afford first class. Now, I don't think that's true. I think there are fewer first class seats for a very, very different reason. But before I tell you why, can you see how bought in you are to affordability? Can you see how the whole world is set up to make you believe that everything is ruled by affordability? And the problem is that it all makes perfect sense. But let me show you something. What's this? What's this place called? Disneyland. That's right. Now, in 2015, a ticket to Disneyland cost $100. And in 2015, 18 million people visited Disneyland. Now, if Disneyland lived in the world of affordability, they would be very careful about raising their prices so they don't scare people away. Now, between 2015 and 2025, inflation has increased 37%, which means a Disneyland ticket adjusted for inflation should only be $137. But what does a Disneyland ticket cost today? $225. That's a 126% increase. Now, with that huge price increase, there should be a lot fewer people who can afford to go to Disneyland. So the number of visitors should have dropped. You want to guess how many people went to Disneyland in 2025? 1 billion people. Now that doesn't make any sense. Why are more people going to Disneyland if fewer people can afford Disneyland? Well, it's a very simple answer. It's because Disney does not live in the world of affordability. They live in the world where they know if they create something people want, then people will show up regardless of the price. That's the world I live in. Now, I know what you're thinking, and it's okay. You can say it. You won't hurt my feelings. You're thinking it's easy for you, Ami, because you have money. You don't have to be careful. You can afford anything. And you're right. I can pretty much afford anything. But I didn't start there. I did not come from money. I was not handed this life. I had to earn it. My parents came from India. My father, when he came here, didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. He worked his ass off at a gas station to support us, and I barely saw him. Now, maybe some of you have memories of your dad hanging out, throwing the football around. Not me. My best memories of my childhood were waiting up late at night for my dad to come home from work so I could spend 20 minutes with him at the kitchen table, eating Hot Pockets he brought home from work. That's what we could afford. And I was not taught about money in some sophisticated way. But my mom told me something that changed how I thought about it. My mom said, if you have money, you get to make all of your own choices in life. And that hit me hard. It made me realize that money is not about having things, it's about having freedom. Do you get that? Money is about freedom. So instead of thinking about having the best video games or the sneakers that the other kids had, I started thinking about freedom, about building a life I actually wanted to live. Creating freedom for myself and my family became the driving force of my life. It's what drove me to build my Amazon e-commerce business, and it also drove me to nearly losing my sanity. About 5 years ago, I was deep in my Amazon fulfillment business. We were buying products, moving inventory, building momentum, and fourth quarter was coming and I needed inventory. I'd been working with this one guy overseas for months and he had always delivered. So when I wired him $500,000, it wasn't some random gamble. It was a business move with someone I trusted. But the second the money left my account, nothing. No response, no product, no money. It was all gone. It was every dollar that I had in this life. But I didn't just lose my money. I had lost the money of all the good people who had invested with me and trusted me. Now, I want you to put yourself in that moment. I don't want you to just listen to the story. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the moment that you realize you just lost $500,000. That sickness in your stomach. The cold shiver rushing through your veins. I want you to feel the shame, feel the embarrassment, feel the thought of having to call all the people who trusted you one by one and tell them that you alone had lost their life savings. You're feeling it. You're feeling it. Good. Because I did, and it nearly broke me. And this is where most people stop. This is where most people say, I failed. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not cut out for this. I can't afford to make another mistake. Because that is what affordability sounds like when it gets inside your head. And I'll be honest with you, I was there. I was ready to quit. I'm thinking it's time to get a job. I'm thinking it's time to play it safe. And I thought that for about 30 seconds. Because that's all the time I gave myself to be discouraged, 30 seconds. And then I made a decision. I decided to solve the problem. No victim, no excuses, no waiting for someone to come and save me. I had to protect my business. I had to protect my investors. I had to come up with a game plan. So I worked the numbers and I came up with a solution. The only one that could save me. See, losing $500,000 put me in a bind. So I put pen to paper, I worked the figures, and I found the answer at the bottom of a spreadsheet. I needed to raise another $2 million and raise it fast. That was my only way out. But how? How was I going to raise $2 million? Well, I knew one thing. I knew that if I got stuck in affordability, I would definitely lose everything. I knew that if I let affordability control my mind, then affordability would have told me that raising $2 million after losing $500,000 was impossible. So I couldn't go there. I wouldn't let myself go there. Instead, I went somewhere else. You want to know where? You remember a little while ago how I told you that there's another word that you weren't ready for. Remember that? Well, this word is the only thing that could beat affordability. It's the word that saved me, it saved my business, and it saved my investors their life savings. Now, I'm here with you today because I did not give in to affordability. Instead, I stood up and I chose what? possibility, possibility, possibility. Say it with me, possibility. Affordability is when you say, oh, poor me, I lost $500,000. Possibility is when you say, I'm going to raise $2 million and fix it. I chose possibility. And here's the thing. When you live in affordability, you will always be asking yourself one question: how? How am I going to do it? How will it work? How will I survive? But when you live in possibility, you will always be saying now. Now I'm going to do it. Now I will make it work. Now I will survive and thrive and create great things in the world that most people can't even imagine. If you live in affordability, you will never get to possibility. The possibility of what you can build. The possibility of the lives you can touch. The possibility of the freedom you can create for yourself and the people you love. Do you want to live in affordability? Where do you want to live? Possibility. Where? Possibility. Absolutely right. I chose possibility. I raised the $2 million. I saved my business. I saved my investors, and I gave their families the kind of freedom they never imagined. But this is not about me and my triumphs. This is about you. This is about you living in possibility. This is about you living in the kind of freedom that right now you can't even imagine. But only if that's what you want. Do you want that? Are you sure? Then let me share one last story with you, because I want to prove to you just how fast possibility can work for you when you let it. You remember this, right? Now, one day, not very long ago, I was getting on an airplane. Now, I actually own a company that leases private jets to people. So you may be wondering, Ami, why didn't you just take one of your jets? Well, that company is doing so well that we actually ran out of jets. So I had to fly commercial. I'm getting on the plane, and I saw the first class seats and the economy seats. And I said to myself, now wait a second. I don't believe that all these people are sitting back there in economy because of affordability. I think a lot of them are back there because of a lack of possibility. I think that if there were more first class seats, more people would be sitting in them. And it's not even the passengers' fault that they're back there. It's the airline's fault. So I started thinking about all those seats. And then I asked myself a very different kind of question. I asked myself, what if? What if Amrinder Kamboj, built an airplane that only had first class seats? Now, if I lived in affordability, I'd say, how is that going to work? How am I going to get that airplane? How am I going to fill those seats? But I don't live in affordability. Where do I live? Possibility. And here's the crazy part. When you live in possibility, possibilities start showing up at your doorstep. I didn't tell anyone about this idea because I wasn't sure I'd have time to do it. So I'm in Colombia on a health retreat, and my business partner, Joseph, calls me. I said, Joseph, I'm on vacation. Can't this wait? He says, no, Ami, you got to hear me out. He says, there's this company for sale, and I think you might want to buy it. Now, remember, I hadn't told Joseph or anyone about my idea. But Joseph tells me that this company has 4 large jets. And these 4 jets are configured with the whole plane set up as first class seating. These jets match the concept I had in my head perfectly. See, I was wondering how I was going to create 1 jet, and now I have 4 jets ready to go. That's the magic that happens when you live where? Possibility. Now, the question is, how do you get there? How do you get from affordability all the way over here to living the rest of your life in possibility? Because even though you get it right now, as soon as you walk out those doors, you're going to find yourself falling right back into affordability again. I don't want that for you. Do you want that? Well, good. Because Coach Dan and I, we got a plan to help you. Let me show you what we've done. See, I reversed engineered the methods I've used to live in possibility. And I call this my 3 pillars of possibility. You want to see how these work? So number 1, I do not let discouragement stop me. I kill discouragement before it has time to take hold in my brain. I want you to think about all those times you had a great idea, but you got discouraged before you had a chance to do it. Think about all the times you failed at something and you let discouragement stop you from trying again. Well, killing your discouragement is a practice, and we're going to teach you how to do it. Number 2, I do not let fear make my decisions for me. I taught myself how to obliterate fear. Think of all the times that you let fear stop you. Think of all the times you ask yourself, how am I going to do this? How is it going to work? That how in your brain, that's your fear. We're going to show you how to obliterate that fear and how to turn how into now. Is this making sense? Are you getting this? Are you ready for the 3rd pillar? Because the 3rd pillar is the most important one. In fact, if you don't have this 3rd pillar, the first 2 won't make a difference. Here it is. Number 3, I build badass communities of people who want to do great things with me. Do you have a community like that? Do you have a group of people who are dedicated to your success? See, I bet you don't. I bet you tried to do most things on your own. I bet you've tried to build communities, but those people ended up letting you down. Am I right? You need a community of people who will jump in the car at 3 a.m. and drive 100 miles just to help you. That's the kind of community I'm talking about. See, in order for you to live the rest of your life in possibility, you have to be bulletproof to discouragement. You have to be in control of your fears. You have to have a community of people who will support you no matter what. If you do not have these 3 pillars, you will get discouraged when times get tough. You will let fear guide your decisions. You will try to do everything on your own or on the cheap. Now, if you don't believe me yet, that's fine. We're going to do a little test. And you're going to see just how quickly you fall out of possibility. Are you ready? Let's say that right now, I ask you to raise $2. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could raise $2? Not pull it out of your pocket, but raise it. Could you get someone else to give you $2? I'm sure you could. It's easy. But let's say I ask you to raise $20. Do you think you could do that without getting discouraged or feeling afraid? Of course you could. You know someone who would give you $20, right? Let's say I ask you to raise $200 today. Do you think you could do that? Do you know someone who would give you $200 to support your dream or fund your idea? It's not hard. But now let's say I want you to raise $2,000 by the end of the day. Notice what starts to happen here. With $2, $20, $200, you didn't even have to think about it. Now, suddenly, things start to slow down a little bit, don't they? You start to wonder, how? How am I going to raise $2,000 today? Notice how the very first feelings of discouragement and fear start to creep in. And you wonder who in your community would support you. This is the very first time you start thinking how. And look how fast it happened. Ready to keep going? Now let's say I tell you that you have to raise $20,000 by the end of the day. See, now we got a real problem, don't we? You can feel that how getting bigger, can't you? You can feel the discouragement, the fear start to grow in your gut. You really start to wonder if you have a community that will fund you and support you. Now you have to raise $200,000 by the end of the day. Everything gets more intense. Everything seems less and less possible. Notice that when you think about it, how you're going to do it, your mind tells you that you probably can't. Look how quickly your mind told you to give up. But let's take this all the way to the end. Let's take this to where I was just a few years ago when I lost the $500,000. I need you to raise $2 million or you're going to lose everything. And your investors are going to lose their life savings. Forget discouragement and fear and wondering if you have a community to help you. Your brain has gone right into overload. You're lost. Do you see how quickly this happened? But imagine, just imagine if raising $2 million felt the same as raising $2? What would that be like? What do you think you could accomplish in life and in business if you felt that way? The way I live, in possibility, not affordability. What would the rest of your life be like? No discouragement, no fear, a community to support you. What would that be like? Is that something you would want? Can I show you how to get there? Well, let me show you how I helped someone do that just recently. This is my son, Armani. Isn't he cute? This boy is the love of my life. Now, Armani, he loves Legos and he loves Star Wars. So we were out recently and he saw this. He said, "Daddy, can I have it? Please, 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 can I have it?" Now, I try not to buy him too many toys because I want Armani to respect money and understand that you have to earn things in life. But what can I say? When it comes to my son, I'm a little weak. I love him. What can I do? So I bought it for him. A couple weeks later, I said, "Hey, Armani, what happened to that Lego I bought you? Where is it?" And he got really evasive and quiet, and I knew something was up. So finally, he told me that he had lost the instructions, so he couldn't build the toy. Now, to Armani, that Lego toy looked like this. It's just a mess of parts and pieces, and it made him discouraged and afraid. And it made him say, How am I going to do this? I can't. But as his father, I won't let my son live in how. I won't let him live in discouragement or fear. I won't let him run away when things are hard. It's my job to take my son from how to now. I will not allow him to see his problems in a world like this. I will only help him keep his mind focused on this, the solution, not the problem. So I showed him the picture on the box and I said to him, "What do you need to do to turn this into this?" And you know what he did? You know what my little boy did right there in that moment? I'm so proud of him. He didn't say, "I don't know." He didn't give up. He built a community. He said, "Would you help me, Daddy?" I said, "Of course I will." And together, step by step, we worked on that model. I didn't do it for him. I supported him. And look what we did together. I love him so much. That's how I'm going to help you. Right now, for you, success feels like this. You have all the parts, but you don't know how to put them together. You have a big vision, but here's where you're stuck. How? How are you going to do it? Well, I'm going to help you see your success like this. I'm going to take you from how to now. But to get there, I need to train your brain. And that's where these 3 pillars come in. You cannot get there until you can kill your discouragement so you don't give up when it gets hard or seems impossible, like losing $500K. You have to be able to obliterate fear. So if you need to raise $2 million or you want to make a jet with all first-class seats, it doesn't scare the shit out of you. You have to know how to build communities of people who want to support you and believe in you. I would not be here today if I did not have my team. I mean it. I did not do this all by myself. The idea of the self-made man or woman is a lie. No one gets here alone. Now, for years, I tried teaching people my methods, my systems, all my success moves. I gave it away. My complete playbook. All people had to do was to follow the steps, but no one took action. No one did it. That is when I realized the problem is not knowledge. The problem is discouragement, fear, and no community. Everyone gets stuck in how. I knew I had to take people from how to now. But I didn't have time to build a whole new program. And that's when possibility showed up again. I get a text from Coach Dan. He says, "Ami, I got this idea. I think we need to build a program to help people take action on the things you teach them. What do you think?" I said, "Coach Dan, that's a great idea." So Coach Dan and I are creating a program called Execution Unstoppable. It's a success workshop that's only for purpose-driven founders. That means if your only goal in life is about money, this is not for you. But if you have a vision for creating a business that brings something new and great to the world, you are exactly who we want in the room. We are going to spend a day where we permanently replace affordability with possibility. We're going to shift you from how to now. We're going to kill your discouragement. We're going to obliterate your fear. And we're going to show you how to build a community of people to support your vision. What do you think so far? Are you with me? Are you in or are you out? Now, let me warn you right now. This isn't some feel-good workshop. This isn't one of those motivational talks where you feel inspired and then you go right back to the same excuses. This is work. From the moment we begin, we are going to work on you. And you are going to work on you. You're going to be up out of your seat. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be forced to look directly at the things that have been stopping you. Now, what do you think so far? Are you in or are you out? We're going to lead you through exercises to kill your discouragement. We're going to lead you through exercise to obliterate your fear. We're going to show you how to build a real community right there in the room. Not someday, not in theory, but in the room. You're going to walk out with people who support your vision, people who challenge your excuses and help you move. What do you think so far? Are you in or are you out? So here's the deal. We're testing the room. That's what this is. That's what I'm doing right now. We are here right now to find out whether enough of you actually want this. Whether enough of you are sick and tired of affordability and have the courage to say yes to what? Possibility. So here's what we're asking. If this sounds like something that you want to participate in, hit this QR code. Hit the QR code and fill out your info. If enough of you do that, we will keep building this program. It's not done yet. We do not have a start date. We don't even have a price. We only want to know if enough of you want it. And if you don't, the idea dies here. And why? Because time is the one non-renewable resource in this world, and we are not going to put time into building something people do not have the guts to show up for. So the responsibility of this program is on you, not us, you. We're doing 90% of the work. We're asking you for the next 10. So if you want this in your life, if you want possibility, if you want this room to turn something real, hit the code. Take action now. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you there.